Hi folks, today we are going to cover the another Ansible part, which is roles. So roles in Ansible is a further level of abstraction that can be used to organize your playbook. So let's say you have several tasks that have been arranged in a playbook, and in a playbook we can have multiple tasks, and you can arrange it in a evenly manner. But if you want to have if you have multiple tasks and you want to play around tasks, you want to prioritize tasks, and you want to arrange it in an orderly fashion inside a playbook, for that particular purpose we have something called role. Okay, so role is again a terminology used in Ansible, and it has certain roles. It has certain rules actually, which will help you to design your playbook in a very structured order. So roles allow you to create a very minimal playbook, so it's very easy to readable. So let's say if you're a guy who has created a playbook with multiple tasks using roles, and I'm the one who's going to read the playbook, it would be much readable, and I can actually track how exactly your playbook works in an orderly fashion. So that's the main role. That's the main helpful thing that we can do with roles in Ansible. So organizing things into roles allow you to reuse common configuration steps. This means that let's say you can actually create separate playbooks for separate configuration, and you can call them back in an orderly fashion. So you can call the other playbooks whenever you want to have it implemented on your main playbook. Say, let's say you have child playbooks which will do certain configuration changes on certain servers, and you want to have it arranged in a main master playbook. You can do that using roles. So in order for Ansible to handle roles, we need to build a directory. Yes, directory structure. So in order to have this implemented, there is a certain rules that we need to follow in Ansible, so that Ansible can understand what exactly we are trying to accomplish using the roles. So this is the directory structure. So I'll be giving you a brief show out on how exactly the directory structure looks. But this is the directory structure. So let's say if you have a role under which you should have these kind of directories created, and let's pause for a minute and I'll just show you how exactly the directory structure looks like. So this is the directory structure that you can see here. So I have the main master playbook called build.yml. This is the main playbook which will open later, which I will open it later. So, and this is the host file which has all the inventory information on which particular host this playbook needs to be executed. And here we have the roles folder. So if you want to have your roles implemented, you have to create a directory called roles, and it should be of the same name, ROLES. There shouldn't be any variation over here. And you have to create a directory called roles. Inside that particular roles, you will have different tasks. Let's say right now I have created tasks for server backup, PBIS installation, my patch installation, server list, and my system manager update scripts. So these are the tasks that needs to be performed on all the servers, and my build.yml will be calling this task. So again, here you should make sure that you have a very user readable name assigned to each folders. So this one is the backup task, this one is for the packaging. So because we will be calling these names in our master playbook here. Let's show you the master playbook. So here you can see in the master playbook I have something called roles, and I'm actually calling the folder names that I have assigned. So here you can arrange the roles in an orderly fashion the way you want it. So if I want to have my Power Broker installation to be done first, so I'll have this thing here, and my system manager update things has to be happen in the next, so I'll be doing it in the second. I'll I'll be assigning it as a second role. So that being said, let's go on to the roles folder. So these are the roles, these are the different roles folders which I have created. Let's go in one folder. Let's go on backup. So here you can see the directory structure. This is what I was talking about. So these are the directory structures. So whenever you create role, it's mandatory that you have all these folders lined up in your folder structure. So for backup, I have a folder called files, handlers, meta, task, templates, and var. And make sure that all the naming convention are the same. There shouldn't be any different name changes. Because Ansible will not be able to read if you have a different name assigned to the folder. Say if you say meta, if you just say meta with 2 A's, then Ansible won't be able to read the folders. So let's go on describing each file, each attributes for the files for the folders here. So let me pause for a while here. Just give me a minute. Alright. So yeah, these are the folders explanation. Each folder has is used in the task as a each folder has a nature, and each folder will be used accordingly, which needs to be used in the playbook. So this is the thing. So the files will have this particular folder will have all the files that you want to transfer to the server. Okay, let's stop for a while here, and I'll just show you how exactly it's done. So I'm going to show you the example. I'm going to show the example for files. So this is the setup that I have. So let's say the blue box is the Ansible server and the red box is the Ansible client. So we are trying to run the Ansible playbook on the blue box and have it replicated. The output should be on the red box. So right now I have created a role. I have created multiple master files, but let's say test one is the first master file, and this will actually try to connect to this particular roles folder. So if I go to roles folder, I have multiple tasks, like I have touch task to create files on this red box, temp to copy some templates in this red box, and SSH config to try to change some SSH config directories. So these are the separate tasks, small tasks I have that I need to perform it on the Ansible clients. Right now I have only one Ansible client configured right now. You can have multiple hosts accordingly in your host inventory file. Now let's give you an example of what file is. So I'm going into sshconf. So if I do ls, of course I should have all the roles specific directories listed here, and I have created already. So we have files, handlers, meta, task, templates, and var here. So let's go on files. So so you will be placing all your task based playbooks inside the folder called task. So if you are going to if you want to perform a settings, if you want to write a task, you should go to task folder, and by default you should create a folder called main.yml. Again, this is the name is very specific. You shouldn't have any name created on your own. By default, Ansible will understand that it has to fetch main.yml in each folder except for files and templates, because these folders we'll be storing our configuration files that we want to copy it on the destined server, templates that you want to change, templates that talks to a variable and have it configured in this in the client side. So files and templates will have their own files that you want to copy it on the destined server, but all the other folders like handlers, meta, tasks, and vars in these folders you have to create something called main.yml. Only by this Ansible will understand that it has something to fetch from this roles directory. So here the first thing I'm doing is under task I have something called main.yml. Yeah, so I will be creating the task under this name. So right now I just created, of course you will have first 3 dashes which will specify that it's a YAML code, and you will specify the model that you're going to use on this particular task. So I'm just creating a file called, I'm just creating some file called etc travis and giving some root permission that I want to have it on the client. So what happens is this is the file which will get created here with this particular ownership, group, membership, and permission with 0400. So that's the objective I want to have on this particular task. So let's say if you want to have a task that that needs to copy a file. Let's say here in this task I have all files. See, SSHD. So if you want to copy this file onto the destined server, you will specify it in main.yml with the copy module, and you will specify to which particular destination you want to copy the source files. So hence files and templates will have files or folders that you want to copy it to the destined server. Rest folders will have YAML scripts which will specify their corresponding things. So here in handlers you can configure your handlers in this particular folder. If you have the metadata, so this directory can contain files that establish role dependencies. So let's say if you have a role that needs, if you have 2 roles and one role is dependent on the other role, in that particular case you can specify the roles that needs to be performed before the particular role. You can specify those roles here in meta directory. You can specify it here in the meta directory. Task, of course, I just showed you what exactly the task is. The main folder in which you will specify your task that needs to be implemented. And whereas folder is the folder where you will save all your variables in respect to this particular task. So you can segregate your variables accordingly, and you can use these variables, whatever the variables that you have defined here inside this folder could be understood by the YAML script in the task folder. So inside cdvar also you should have how to define variables. cdvar you should have something called again the main.yml, and here you will specify dots, and you can specify var, specify the, let's say if I want to have a variable called sm, I'll specify here. This will be, so the variable sm is the variable name and the value is xd. So sm will store the variable xd, and I can call this variable inside the task of ssh. So this is how exactly the role works, and going back to our main configuration main file. Let's say test1.yml. Okay, I'm in the roles, so I'm going to go back again. So here I'm going to test1.yml. So this is where I will specify what are the, so in the host directory I'm specifying the test machines that needs to have these roles implemented. So here I will say roles, search. If you're not sure about the file name, you go again. Search conf. So once I do this, and if I run the script, if I run my Ansible book, so Ansible host.ini, and test.